lockdown, but we are back with you guys at 10 a.m. and I am so excited to be here. And welcome. We had so many new people join the group yesterday. So to everyone that was there spreading the word, thank you so much. Welcome to everybody that's joined. We love having you guys here. So if you're here, drop me a hello. Let me know you're around. I love to see the comments and the hellos. And today we've got an amazing session that I'm super excited for. So firstly, welcome to the group. I'm your host, Jennifer Louise. I'm a successful salon mentor and I help salon owners level up their marketing game. So today I have with me a dear friend of mine and mentor who was there at the very beginning of this journey. In fact, she is the reason why this group is here and why I show up with you. So it felt best fitting to have her here today to open this.
Picking off the next lockdown.
She was there when I made the phone call to my team to close the salon last time, and she kicked my ass at 8 a.m. every single morning last lockdown, pumped me up so that I could be here to deliver and pump up to you guys. So welcome, Sammy! Hello!
Yay! I feel like I need some maracas and just shake it all about. We're doing it. We're kicking it off. New lockdown.
we need an anthem.
We do.
Let's
For
get
those of you that are watching, what anthem would you have us sing? If we could sing anything, what would we sing for you?
Put it in the chat, guys. What shall our anthem be? It needs to be a kick-ass song for two kick-ass ladies. Yay!
Yeah.
So, Sammy's superpower is building a brand. And I first met Sammy on the stage at the EMC 2020. Probably saw it all over my stories. It was a 3-day marketing business fest, which was just phenomenal. And actually, Sammy opened the entire event. And I stood there like that with my mouth, well, I sat there with my mouth open. It was phenomenal. And the girls are saying, hi, every woman. I'm every woman. I love that song. Yes, we're going to do that.
I'm every woman. That's all I need. We can pretend.
I've got my I'm every woman.
Here we go. Let's do it. We can at least pretend, can't we? I'm every woman. It's all you need. Anything you want done, baby, I can do it naturally. I don't know what the words are. You have to send the karaoke in. Yeah. We're willing to try.
Everyone's laughing. See, we are crazy. This is how we spend our mentor sessions.
Yeah.
When Sammy got on that stage, she spoke about picking your lane and building your brand and just blew me away. And I thought, you guys need to hear what this lady has to talk about. So she didn't even hesitate. She was like, hell yeah, I'm there. Bless her. She's here today to share the inside of her marketing brand building brain with you. So buckle up, make sure you've got something to take notes on, and just absorb everything that Sammy has to say, because she is marketing genius. So welcome, Sammy.
Thank you. I think I was thinking about this, and because I tailor every single thing that I do, and that presentation was for that weekend, and you and I were talking about what we could do and kick everybody off with. And I think that the key thing is really to first decide what your identity is in what you're doing. And you've got successful hair salons, you've been crushing it, or maybe you wanted to change some things about your salon before, and actually lockdown has just given you this month to work on your business rather than in your business. So now's the time to decide if your identity, not the identity of the salon, but if your identity is the one that you want to keep. Because how you have other people talk about you when you're not there is your brand. and the branding is what comes later. So let's focus on your identity, your brand, and you really picking that lane, as Jen said, of getting really clear about what it is that you stand for. And also what you stand against as well. So I'd love you to put in the chat now, what is the thing that most winds you up about your industry? What winds you up? What really gets your goat? What gets you on your soapbox? Like, this is your opportunity. We're giving the opportunity right now to get on your soapbox and just put in the comments the things that frustrate you most about your industry. What is it that really annoys you? Because I think quite a lot of the time we try and focus on all the positives, and but usually what happens is you say, well, what would you really like, and you go straight into, well, what I don't like is. So I always start that way, because you're probably going to find that easier to think of all the things you don't like about your industry that you'd really love to change. So I can't see the comments. So Jen, if you've got any comments that are coming in. I can see the comments. Hang on, I've clicked on them.
Got them? Okay, yeah. So one of the ways that I did this at the beginning of my journey was I go a lot and get my hair done in different salons just to see what they're doing. And I actually came out 90% of the time with a list of things that I hated about the salon. There was nobody really doing anything. I expected miracles. I expected to go in and be wow, like all this stuff that I didn't know about. And I came out thinking, I'm actually really bloody good. The salon's really good. But there was things like people putting a brush in my hair that had hair from someone else's head in it. And and it was all kind of boiling down to cleanliness. So, the fact that the brushes are wrapped individually after it cleans and wrapped after every use, and we unwrap them in front of the guests so they can see that. All those little things came from that exercise, going out and looking.
That's so good.
People undervaluing our industry.
Yeah.
That at the moment, we're putting our prices up. We're charging, they know that they need us now, because 6 months without us.
Yeah. COVID has sped things up as much as it slowed things down. There's that saying, isn't there? Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. And I think that's what COVID has actually enabled us to do. And people turning up, not turning up as well, Karen. Yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
What else frustrates you about your industry? And that might not necessarily be your customers. It's how other people are doing things. Like, what are other people doing? Like, as Jen said, she's gone into the hair salons, and she's had all these tiny little things. I mean, it's what Richard Branson does. So Richard Branson gets on a flight, he goes and sits in economy, and he just sits there with his notebook about all the things that he would change now that he's sat in the shoes of his customer. So that's a really good thing for you to do, is if you can't, which you can't at the moment, go and survey somebody else's salon, do a little survey, a little stock check as such on your own, and walk yourself mentally through the process from the point of that customer making their phoning up, even like, how are they greeted? Who is it that's greeting them? Is that the brand that you want them to receive? Once the booking has been made, what happens? What's the customer journey from the point of them, the customer putting the phone down, to them turning up in the salon? What's the journey you have? What are you creating as heartbeats to build as much connection and loyalty with those customers as possible? Because I guarantee there's a lot of salons that won't be doing any of that. So when you start doing that, it makes a huge difference. Jen, I know that you went through this process when you found out who your Sue was. Yeah. You really started to build those heartbeats in, didn't you? So do you want to talk about some of those heartbeats that are specific to your industry?
Yeah. So when I studied Sue and realized all the things that she loved, literally everything is for Sue. So I began to talk to her. So in my head, when I was writing the text message that goes out as a thank you for booking, I wasn't thanking Anonymous, I was thanking Sue. So I would use the words that I would have spoken to her. And actually, because she's such an amazing friend, I don't use all these big professional words, because that's not me. That doesn't give me
avoiding them anyway.
No. So it's like a family. And so I'm always welcoming people to the family. When they leave a review, it's like, welcome to the Obsessions family. We love having you here, because I know how to talk to Sue. The coffee that we serve is the brand of coffee that Sue drinks in her favorite restaurant. You know, all the little things that we do is for Sue. The way we dress in the morning, the way the team dress and show up. You know, they would never turn up to the business in something unsuitable, because they understand they're getting dressed for Sue. If they wouldn't go out for lunch wearing that for Sue, don't wear it to work. The fact that we've got plants all around the shop, you know, all the little individual touches are all for her. And that guest journey simply is just mapped out. So I did it. I phoned, I looked on the website, I realised how to book and figured out what was the next message that came to me or the next email, and went back and changed things. Then what happened when they got there? Was someone opening the door? What was the reservations like? Then the consultation. Then they moved through the salon into the basin area. How was the shampoo? How was the move from the basin area back over to the chairs? Like, so many heartbeat touch points that you have with a guest that you don't even realize are happening. The way they're asked if they want coffee, the way the hair is swept up. You know, if you've got someone trying to sweep up underneath the stylist's feet, winding them up, that's transferring on to Sue. So we need to make sure that everything is done in accordance to keep Sue happy.
Yeah, spot on. And that's the thing. Your brand is the experience you deliver. If you think about it, your brand is completely emotional. It's intangible, really, because it doesn't exist physically. You can't reach out and touch a brand. You can touch branding, but you can't touch the brand. The branding is the physical, hard visual stuff, your logo. It's the menu. If you put a menu in front of your client so they can choose which drink they want whilst they're having their treatment. It's the brand that's on the products, if you've got your own brand on there or somebody else's brand. Again, it's all brand alignment, isn't it? If you're aligning yourself with a brand that people don't resonate with, then they're not going to resonate with your brand either, because it's brand by association. So it's really thinking about the experience, the emotional connection you have with your customers and the experience you leave them with, so that they don't just come and buy from you once, but they're coming and buying from you again and again and again. And that's something I want to touch on now, is the loyalty side of things, because that's one of the things that we focused on straight away with Jen. So when Jen came down to the event that first morning and said, "Oh my God, I've just closed my business," and it was like, okay, now we've got to create income streams. We've got to get revenue in, and let's make sure that not only do you have a healthy, vibrant and thriving business to go back to, but that you also have a healthy, thriving and vibrant business that's online in some way, so that you still keep that connection with the people who are ready to go to that next level. So there's two ways to really think about this well, there's many more ways, but I'm trying to simplify it in the time that we've got, is to think, could you create something that's either a loyalty scheme with your customers or a membership type scheme, which gives them offers, which gives them money off, incentives to come back into the store, incentives to get other people to come along with them, buy one give one, or buy one get one half price. Our salon that I go to here where I live, they put a thing out, and it was, I don't know, however much it was for 2 treatments. Bring a friend and they can have the second treatment, sort of thing. And so they were encouraging people to come in 2s, which is great, and so I think a lot of the time we make incentive offers to one person, but if you can create an incentive type offer or a membership that includes their friends as well, you're going to multiply. I love multiplication. You're going to multiply the amount of heartbeats, but also the amount of prospects that can go from being a stranger to a friend, and a friend to a customer to a lifetime customer. And that's really the key thing, is to make that decision about, what experience you've got to get this Sue bit right. Because if you understand what that experience is and how you want others to go and talk about you when you're not there, And let's face it, they could be having a coffee with their friend, or more than likely at the moment, they might be on Zoom with a friend or FaceTime. And they're talking about X, Y, and Z, and oh, I really hate my hair. Oh, that's a shame. I've got a great salon that I go to, and in fact, actually, I don't even feel like I miss them because they send me all these things every week, or I'm in constant contact with them. Actually, I feel like I'm part of their family. So I've got priority for when we open up again, or when they open up again. I'm on the priority VIP list. And you can kind of brand your customers in a way that they feel really exclusive. So for example, we're about to run a challenge in a couple of days, and as part of that challenge, instead of doing like, oh, here are the free tickets, here's VIP, what we've done is brand each level that somebody can invest in that according to who we think they are. So we've got a premier ticket is the like £8 ticket for them to get involved. Instead of VIP, we've called it visionary. So you can get a visionary ticket for 98, or for, I think it's 398, you can get a legacy ticket. And that's for somebody who's really building a legacy, not just a business. So we're really thinking about how that person would want to brand themselves as well. And, we can come up with all these fancy names of, oh, it's going to be the gold package. And this is, but ultimately, what is the language your customer would really want to use with themselves? Because if that's how, if they're an inspirational, aspirational, somebody who's aiming for something higher, they're not there yet, but they maybe they can't afford to come and get their hair blow dried every week, but once every 6 weeks, that's a good treat for them. And they feel like they're up there with the next door neighbor who goes and does it every week, is that kind of keeping up with the Joneses sort of thing. And so, how can you create that experience, but outside of the salon, so that you're not relying on income, or the only income you have is when their bum is in their seat in your store. Yeah. And that's a key thing. Jen, do you want to add anything at this point?
Well, just a few ways of doing it, really. So we've got like a VIP, which is our top 30 guests. So our top 30 spenders are all in this little club. They have access to me during lockdown on my mobile, in a WhatsApp group.
Great
so
idea.
we can chat and stuff through that. They have a monthly newsletter that goes out where I just use other businesses to give me vouchers or treatments, so that I'm helping other businesses locally grow. But I'm giving my top 30 guests that they spend a fortune with me. We're not cheap. They get to have that amazing service where they're getting little things from us, but also little things from all the lovely little businesses that I really like, and I know they like because I've done my homework. The other way we do it is unlimited blow dries. So to have a blow dry in my business, it's £52 to come and just have your hair blow dried. Now, that's expensive, and some of the people around here can't afford that. So we do an unlimited blow dry service where it's £80 a month, and they can come in once a week, and it's done with just whoever's free. They can't really dictate who does it. But it's a way of them, like Sammy said, being involved, and I'm getting that reoccurring £80 a month payment from them that they're investing, and that's a huge chunk of money for somebody.
That's great cash flow.
Yeah,
brilliant cash flow and consistency and certainty and security in your business. Yeah. But also, what I like about that is that if you aren't oversubscribed yet, there's always a place for somebody to come in and have that service. And of course, if you're offering something like that, you might be sitting there thinking, 80 quid, I can't afford to give that away. What if somebody comes in and they do the all you can eat buffet sort of thing? They come in and they binge on it. Well, you've given them there's a line there that Jen has firmly drawn, which is 1 per week. So you can have a maximum of 1 per week. So they're not going to be in there every day doing it. The other thing is, when they're in there, you're now having conversations with them about other things. Yeah. So they're buying product, they're telling friends, you can tell them stuff that's going on. Would you be willing to put a little message out on Facebook and invite 3 friends to come back with you next time? So the more heartbeats you create and the more of a relationship you build with your customers, the more they're going to come back. But the more you're going to rent a space in their head that means that you're going to be top of mind. Whenever anybody mentions the word hair, you are going to be that go-to person that they're going to come to and refer business to. And so the next level for you to really think about is, okay, so we've now thought about the brand of and the reputation of the business. Now let's think about you and your reputation in the greater industry that you're in. And that's one of the reasons why I want you to think about what are some of the things that really, really annoy you about your industry. So, for example, sorry, darling, I don't know your name because it's just come up as Facebook user, but you said, Jen, if you could get this on the screen, other salons and editing their images before posting on Instagram. And that is so true. Like, of course, they go and Photoshop them and then everything looks way better than it actually looks at the time. You know, maybe that could be your commitment. You know, what other people do badly can become your commitment to service. And that can be your kite mark as such. So think about what your standards, your brand standards are. Because when we talk about picking a lane, picking a lane can mean several different things, and the event that I spoke at was more about fame name and, you know, stepping up as the thought leader in your industry to go beyond hair. You know, like you're a hair hero at the moment, but how could you go beyond that? What else could you be doing as the thought leader in your industry if that's something that calls you to do that? So, you know, I had physical businesses before. I built 5 physical businesses, went to build my 6th one and thought, whoa, hang on a minute, I'm just repeating the same mistake. I'm building this kind of prison around me. Every time I build a physical business, I'm building something that I have to physically be there for, that needs staff, that you've got to switch the lights on, you've got to open the door. And, you know, like my last business was costing 23.5 grand a month just to open the door. That was just in fixed costs before we'd even made any money. And so, you know, like, what could you create? What could you do as the leader of your business that would also, you don't have to go to the lengths that Jen's doing. You don't have to set up a membership or online communities or things like that. I mean, if that's calling you, then definitely do that. But you might be somebody who actually you want a lifestyle business. You don't want to be the biggest thought leader in the world. You don't want to have, you know, thousands or even millions of people knowing your name. Maybe you just want to make a difference and do it and be like a step up rather than right up here. And, you know, what's nice about thinking of how you can do something like that is maybe to be the go-to person within your community. So Jen spoke to this a little while ago, which I think is such a good idea, which is speaking to the other stores and shop owners, other people that have physical businesses just like you. And maybe you could create something like a mastermind where they pay you each month and you facilitate a mastermind for the local businesses in the area, and you brainstorm, how are we going to get more people to come and physically visit us? And we do like a group initiative. Well, you know, you could get a certain amount of money in from each of those businesses, and maybe 80% of that goes back into things that you're doing, but 20% covers your time. And then you've got this consistent money that comes in. And then you could offer, for example, you could see yourselves as a power team, and you could offer certain bonuses or whatever. This happened when I thought this was so good when I moved into an apartment where I used to live in Leeds, and I moved into the city centre. And I remember walking into this brand new kind of, you know, shiny apartment, and as I walked in, there was this folder sitting on the side, and it was branded to the estate agents that I'd rented with. But as I opened it up, there was this sheet, and it had everything that would make my life easier in it, just as you said, Jen. So it's everything that made my life easier. So I could literally chop it off and cut the coupon out and go and take it physically to the person. Well, we're going back a bit now. We're going back a few years. Now you would just go and claim it online or whatever, or you just send it in and it'd be like Groupon, I guess. But that didn't exist back then. But if you can be that go-to person that organizes those kind of offers and nobody else is doing it, now you've got a nice little advertising income that's coming in, and you've definitely got the database. You've got people that that are walking through the door. Now, let's think about if you've got this in a physical way, when people are sitting there, instead of reading magazines, maybe you could orchestrate something or organize something where they're looking through things that you want them to look at, rather than Bella or some other thing, Hello magazine. Maybe you create some magazine of your own, and you don't have to do that yourself. Remember, you've got other people that can be contributing to that, and it might be you as the mastermind with the other businesses. You all contribute one article a month or something, and now you've got a magazine that these people that are sitting in your chairs can read and get to understand the community, get to learn about new services, and maybe there's some offers in there. Now, you might not charge for that, or you might charge for the advertising to get them in front of your clients. These are little things you can do. And now that we've got this online world, what's stopping you from doing something that's online? It's not even going to cost you to print it. You can send a PDF out to your entire customer list and say, hey, I've just done this deal with, Christmas is coming, and there's all these stores that are locally, creating things and selling things. So don't shop on Amazon, shop locally. I've just spent the last 2 days organizing all these opportunities for you to be able to shop locally, but shopping online. Maybe you could organize something like that. You just want to become that key person of influence within your community. Because if you've got, and usually what the case, I can't even say this, usually the case is when you go into a high street, there could be 3, 4, 5, 10 different hair salons all in one postcode. Yeah. So if you are the one that's organizing this, you're the one that is getting oversubscribed. So you might think, this has got nothing to do with hair. Why would I go and do that? Well, why wouldn't you? If it's going to cut your advertising costs dramatically, because you're effectively getting free advertising because everyone else is paying you. So while you've got this month off to think about, I say month off, you might not have a month off at all. Like if you've got kids or whatever, you might have ended up with everyone just going, great, you're off for a month, here you go. Yeah. As can sometimes be the case. But if you do have any time to be able to work on the business instead of in it, then use that time to invest in ideas and concepts and innovating just how you can be making a difference within your community. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you receive, the more you can give back. And that's really the one drop philosophy. You don't have to do big stuff. And actually, there's this thing around money. And I want to really speak into this kind of vibration around money, that the more you charge, you're ripping people off or whatever. Well, no, if good money goes to good businesses can do good things with that money. So it's not about having the shiniest car and, the blingiest house or whatever. It's what can you be doing to give back? How can you make giving back a bigger part of what you're doing as well? Because people are looking at that now. They're becoming way more conscious about investing and spending their money with people that do good things and that give back. So maybe you could give back into the community. Then you become the kite mark. Create your own kite mark. Only shop in places that have this kite mark, because we all give back to the community. But be the Kickstarter of that. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Be the person that does it, and then you claim ownership of that brand and that idea. So, okay. Any questions, Jen, or anything you want to add in on that before we answer?
So the magazine thing works so well. I got sick about 3 years ago of clients, guests in my salon reading about L'Oreal or other products and I don't sell them products. So we took the stand to build our own magazine, which is called Obsessions Lifestyle. It's literally like an A5, and in it, I didn't charge, because I just used the businesses that were local, and I didn't charge, I didn't make money from it. But I absolutely would do it if you guys were doing that now, for sure. And it's literally just, my best friend Amy, who's got an amazing jewelry place, she advertised in there because it was the type of jewelry that Sue loved. Mm-hmm. My friend Bex, who does amazing photographs for businesses and brands and weddings, she advertised in there. So it was literally just all the brands that I loved, that I knew Sue would love. We had recipes in there, local walks where you could go locally to do these little walks, because I know she loves walking. I know she loves baking.
All of that stuff is stuff that you can have them do without them coming into the salon.
Yeah.
The recipes, the walk, book club, maybe you could organize a book club. They pay you every month. You send a book out. You might be thinking, oh, but that's all. I've got to facilitate all of that. I haven't got time to be doing that. But if that was creating an income for you, that meant that if something happened to your salon, you still had certainty, security, and financial stability, wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
You could have your juniors doing things like that when it's not busy.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think this is the last lockdown. I think there's more to come. I do. That's just a personal belief. But, when these things happen, you have to be in a position where you've got income coming through the door to make sure that the salon stands up, the team are paid, and everybody's okay. I've got a quick question here. How does your blow dry scheme work? Did you say they can't pre-book? If you can't pre-book, what happens if you are fully booked and forget to slot them in? Well, firstly, you would never forget to slot somebody in. They can book online, but they can't. It's a half an hour slot, and it slots in between.
So it's not priority booking.
No, it's not priority booking. And generally, when they're in the chair having their blow dry, I'm on reservations, so I'm straight there, like, okay, let's get next week or the next 2 weeks booked in, and so I can place it where I want it. It takes away from them being able to choose their time slots. But they have the option that if they haven't got something booked, they can nip in last minute if there's a time space available. But it has to be with anybody, and you can put stipulations on the fact that it's only with maybe lower tiered team members. Maybe you can't, if your busiest day is on a Saturday and you're generally rammed, maybe they can't have it on a Saturday.
Yeah, or on your quietest days.
Yeah. So you stipulate how you want it to work, absolutely. And it's just a Stripe payment once a month. It's so easy, and it's just turnaround cash constantly. It's really good. And I've just basically said to them all, in lockdown, obviously you can't have it done, so don't cancel the payment. Just let it come in, and I'll just tell me when it's happened, and I'll just pay it straight back to you. So it's an easy setup and transaction. So, hi Claire, she's in the house today. I'm loving this. Okay, so is there anything else you want to add, Sammy?
Yeah, I would say that something you could do is, if you are offering something like that, and say you've got this 80 quid a month coming in, and then lockdown happens and you can foresee it, and whether we have another lockdown or not, there's always economic stuff that can throw a spanner in the works. So just protect yourself and protect your income. So maybe what I would do is go back to those people that are paying £80 a month and say, hey, because obviously you can't come into the salon, what else would you like me to do for you that would make a difference to you for this money? And then when you come back in, we're going to give you first refusal of coming. We're going to be really, really busy. So because you're paying me £80 a month, I'm going to get your time slots booked in. You'll be the first person that we call, and give them VIP priority. And that way you're not losing your income for that month. But you know what? When you ask your customers questions like this, they could say something that you would never have thought of in a million years. And okay, I'll create that for you. And then it's something else that you can sell on an ongoing basis.
Like a product bundle, or, that's the money for the colour, or...
Yeah, you could do a product bundle, or you could say, for your next 4 treatments, we're going to give you a conditioning treatment on top that makes up to the £80 that you would, there's all sorts of stuff that you can come up with, things that you would usually charge for that don't cost you a massive amount in stock, but that they have a high value when people buy them in the store. So there's things that you can do that would make a difference to them. The other thing that you could do is you know, do something fun with them. Why don't, like, I'm about to start a challenge on Wednesday. Run a challenge with your customers and say, look, I know you can't come in and look the way you want to with your hair and get your hair done, but how about we focus on what's going on the inside? We're going to run a smoothie challenge for the next 7 days. Just get them involved in something, you know, get them to change their breakfast. If you can get them to change their breakfast, then you can get them to start changing a habit, and maybe a hair habit is something that you can start to weave in to that as they go through. Get the community involved. Do whatever you can to create as many heartbeats as possible, because it's those heartbeats that create a brand. It's not the product. It's not how many things you can sell them. It's how many heartbeats you can create, how much connection you can build, and how much they will then go and tell others, oh, you've got to be a part of this. And maybe as a part of that challenge, they win products, or they win the thing that you really would love more people to be buying. That's like a VIP makeover where you bring other people in. We've got Christmas coming up. There are things that people can be buying. Maybe you give them X amount of pounds worth of gift vouchers instead of them cancelling that £80 or you having to refund it. What can you come up with? If you haven't got the resources, you get resourceful, right? So instead of them taking your resources away, how could you be resourceful to make up for the resource that they're giving to you, that exchange of value? So just really pick that lane, know what you're going to stand for. And if you think, well, one of the things I can't stand about my industry is that people are charging too little for it. Well, then charge more and establish why you do that. Be that brand that sets the bar, like Jen's doing. She's set the bar. She's charging more than many people in her industry charge. And she's saying, I'm not the cheapest, but we are the best. So come and, that's the energy you build around it. If I'm looking at 2 salons, I won't choose the one that's the cheapest. I will think, oh, if they're so cheap, I'm not quite sure I trust that. So, you're setting a standard for your industry. So know what your brand standards are and really stick to them, and weave that into your entire core messaging, and make sure all of your team, from the cleaner to the CEO, are all completely on message, one drop, one ripple effect, and everybody is making that same ripple.
Absolutely. I think the price point that we've chosen in the salon was because of Sue, and looking at where she spent her money and what type of brands she purchased enabled us to really nail the brands that we use inside the business for products and for bleach and professional use, but also where to set our prices. Because like you just said, Sammy, if we'd been a cheaper salon, she would never have come. No. She wouldn't have trusted it. She wouldn't have bought into the brand. But because we put our flag in the moon, so to speak, and we decided we are going to be exclusive, expensive, and worth it, she absolutely buys in. And anybody that moves down from London, they all just gravitate to us because we hold that position in our community. But thank you so much, Sammy, for spending time with us this morning. It's been so lovely seeing your face, and I'm loving the challenge that you're going to be running. So how can people join in on that?
Well, we're setting everything up today. We've got a new group. It's called the One Drop Ripple Fest. So the whole idea of being, as you see, I'm wearing a one drop. So the whole idea of being that one drop is that you get to do bigger things than the thing you're getting paid for. Yeah. Jen's got a one drop there. One drop is all about the contribution that we make. So this is a change makers challenge. So if you feel like you're a change maker and you don't just want to be in a salon, you actually want to be doing other things that give back to the community. We're going to be having a load of fun. Like, I'm all about really raising the vibe, raising the energy. I've created special meditations for this, for those that upgrade and invest in themselves at the higher level. We've got diffusers, we've got oils, we've got the meditations, we've got everything that really sets you up, not just for this 5-day challenge, because it's from Wednesday to Sunday starting this week. And this is just something I decided to do at the weekend. So like I just make a decision, I make a commitment, and I go. And so yeah, like, we're really setting people up for not just the 5 days, but actually for the next 3 months, because we need to get through the next 3 months in a high vibe. There's stuff that's happening that's beyond our control. So how can we take control of how we feel? Because how we feel then creates how we act and what we do. And what we do and how we act creates that wider ripple of how we impact others and how they want to come back to us. So we're getting everybody in a high vibe. I've got Nikki Piper from the Awesome Life Creator. She's designed a journal for the One Drop Challenge. For the prices start at £8, and we're doing that because we want to give to charity. So we're not running anything for free. When people don't pay, they don't pay attention. We don't want people coming into the challenge and not doing it. We want them to even have invested a little bit of themselves, and 100% of that £8 goes straight to the charity. We've got some really good stuff. So even just by signing up to the challenge, even if you didn't do it, you're already giving back. And then I think it goes up then to £48. And to do that, you then get access to all the VIP sessions, you get recordings of the challenge, you get the meditations. I think when you sign up at the higher level, when you get the oils and things, you also get a year's worth of membership into the Ripple Maker Mastermind. So, and that's just getting people focused on how are we going to be that blessing beyond business. And that's actually part of the name of the challenge. It's blessing beyond business. We aren't doing what we're doing just to earn money and have nice things. For those people that are feeling called to it, let's do something good money going to good people to do good things. So how can we be the blessing for others beyond the business, beyond the sale? And so we're doing some live training every single day on really how you're building your movement, how you can build a global movement, even if that's a global movement in your community. How can you be more of a change maker in what you're doing and start to brand yourself in a way that people gravitate to you? That way you don't have to run ads and do all those things, because you're a natural magnet. So we're focusing on how you can really stand in your identity, how you can stand in your gift, how you can stand in your value. How can you stand in your give back, and how can you stand in your lane? So they're the things that we're going to be doing over the 5 days. So I'm really excited that we haven't told anybody. You're literally the first people to hear about this. So as soon as Tia's building out the landing page and everything as we speak, because like I say, I just have an idea, off we go, we're done. So as soon as we've got the link, Jen, if you would put that out, I'd really appreciate that.
I would love to. That's literally made my heart smile. What a beautiful thing to do. And I think for anybody involved, they are going to be blessed beyond blessed.
Beyond business. It's like, I think that I'm going to be giving little challenges to do as well. So not only are we going to be doing training, but we're also going to be doing some little challenges, because it's a fest, but it's also a bit of a challenge. So, but the things that we're going to give you to do are about you going and just doing one thing that creates a ripple for somebody else. Little fun things that you can just put your face. This might not be one. I don't know. I'm playing with this right now. In fact, what I'm thinking of doing, you can tell me if this is a good idea, right? So I'm operating the way that I've just told you, right? You put it out there, see what people think. So what I'm thinking of is creating a whole deck of cards as such that have one little Ripple Maker challenge on it every day. And I'll just say, right, whoever says stop, that's it. That's the card that we're going to do. That's going to be your challenge. So one of those things will be, and we don't know if you'll get it, to put on your favorite music that gets you really going. Turn on your video camera and say, this one's for you, and just dance to it and just have fun and just be in your total flow and energy, and then send that video to whoever it is you've made that video for. Like, imagine if you received a video like that, like your heart would be singing. You wouldn't be able to stop smiling for the rest of the day. You would have raised that person's energy so much that they are going to go and be that ripple for many other people beyond you and what you've done. So this goes beyond, just opening a door for somebody or smiling at somebody. They're nice things to do, but I think it's the actions that really get the traction. So we've got to throw some things in there that will get you out of your comfort zone, but people will just fall in love with you because our strength is in our vulnerability. And if we're vulnerable in how we give, so will they be. And we can educate a whole new generation of people, especially kids. If kids see that you are able to be open like that, imagine what our next generation of leaders are going to be like if they come into leadership with that kind of energy. So I'm quite emotional about this, actually. So I think that we can be a bigger change maker than just what we're doing. I think we can be a blessing beyond business as well.
We can. Well, I've just got one thing to say to you.
Thank you, ladies.
And it's not thank you. This one's for you, Sammy.
Get that mic, Jen. I don't know the words now because somebody post the words.
We're just gonna belt it. This is Monday morning. Let's raise it out.
I do it naturally. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I hope someone's screenshotting this. This is the sort of thing that I would sing in the shower, but would never let anybody
home. We need to
something you can tell. The fire inside of you. I'm well out of sync. This is like karaoke. Karaoke. I mean,
it's all you.
Everything you want done, baby, I do it naturally.
Oh, what a lovely little bit of fun. I'm definitely
enjoying you and you and you and you.
Girls and boys, thank you so much for being a part of Lockdown 2.0. We will catch you all again tomorrow at 10 a.m. and every weekday thereafter until we come back out of hiding. So, in the words of Sammy, my blessed mentor, it's time to go get shit done. Go think about who you want to be as a business and what you stand for. Think about what you hate when you go in other salons or what other salons are doing that you don't want to replicate in your business. Put your flag in the moon and start shining as the leader that you are.
Be the drop you want to see in the world, guys and girls.
Definitely be the one job. And if you want to join in with the challenge, I'm going to grab the link as soon as it's available and I'm going to stick it in the comments on this video. So
it'll be so much fun.
See you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Sammy. Lots of love. Bye. Bye.